Let's talk a little bit about hustle culture. I think we've all moved away from hustle culture and for the better. Now, for people who don't know what hustle culture is, a little brief. It is when you glorify long working hours, where you're working 60 hours a week, 50 to 55 hours a week, where you don't take a break, where you're romanticizing that kind of life because you call yourself a hard worker, or you get that kind of validation or that kick when you work really long. Now, how much productive you are being, that's completely subjective. But just because you work long hours, you're hustling. But now, recently, data has shown that it is really unstable and really unsustainable to work those kind of hours because, first of all, you're diminishing all your energy, your productivity. Second of all, productivity overall reduces. Third of all, happiness, your mental health, and there's a very high risk of health issues when you work for such long hours every single week. Now, instead, people are seeking well being and creative longevity. That's why you need to manage your energy levels instead of managing your time. Now, time is a man made concept. That means it's very mechanical. That again means you do not take the human factor into effect when it comes to time management. You just have blocks throughout the day where you're like, I need to get X, Y, and Z done, but you do not take into consideration how you might be feeling during that time of the day or what you're thinking. Can your body physically manage that? But energy management, on the other hand, it manages your work according to your mental and emotional state, taking every factor into consideration. That means, again, it's going to yield very high results. The outcome is going to be positive. Your productivity is going to increase. You're going to have the right amount of energy to be able to do that task properly. And again, your happiness and rest is well assured. Now, how will you understand if you're in an energy draining activity? It could be a project, it could be a task, it could be anything related to work. Self awareness. You're going to ask yourself that question. Do you feel depleted, irritable? Do you feel really exhausted once you finish that task or that particular block? And now you're left with no energy to do anything else? If the answer is yes, that means you're doing it wrong. You're not managing that particular task according to your energy levels. You're just doing it because of time management, because maybe you have a deadline, maybe because you're on a short leash. Now, how are you going to manage something that is so heavy and depleting? Now that you've realized that this task is probably demanding a lot more from you mentally, emotionally, physically, that means you're going to sort it out according to your energy levels. Now, of course, there are going to be other man made restraints, such as deadlines. You're on a very short leash, you need to finish it by the end of the week, which is again fine. Or even if you have to finish it in the hour, it does not mean you can't take a break. It does not mean you can't go for a walk. It does not mean that you have to sit there, focus. How long can you even focus for? Have you even tried to understand yourself and bring that much awareness about yourself for yourself? How long can you even have deep focus? I don't think it's more than 15 to 20 minutes. So after that, what are you doing? You're just staring at a screen. You're not doing anything. So you might as well get up, walk away, take a little break, come back in, get back to it. And if you have more time, you know what? Slot it out according to your energy levels, where you know what, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, and so on and so forth. Now, again, burnout and irritability, feeling exhausted, feeling annoyed could be because of your patterns, which is fine. Everybody has a routine and people stick to that routine because it works for them. But sometimes you need to break your routine. Sometimes just listen, just give it a good listen. Because what happens is it allows some sense of fresh air to come in. You surprised yourself. Okay, you broke your routine. Your brain was a little shocked where you're like, oh, this was not predictable. This was a little unpredictable. And sometimes your burnout can be prevented because of a little unpredictableness where, oh, this is not what I was supposed to do today, but I did it anyways. So instead of going straight home from work, you take a long walk while going back. You meet up with a friend, you go get a coffee, you go to the gym, you get some happy hormones in, or you sit reading a book in a park. You take time out for yourself. Now, what that does is it signals to your body, oh, this is something different. That sensation and that overwhelming feeling of being burnt out, being irritable, being annoyed, it will disappear like that. As soon as you break your routine, as soon as you break your patterns. How Gen Zs and millennials are managing their energy levels is they're ditching high stress 9 to 5 jobs. They're absolutely ditching it. Unless and until that job allows them to work from home, there are flexible timings. You know what? They can come in whenever they want, they can finish the task at hand, and they can leave whenever they want. They are kind of transitioning slowly into doing their own thing, whether that be content creation, consulting, digital marketing, social media, it could be literally anything, but they prefer to work at their own time from the comfort of their own homes, or even if not own home, but they want to be able to be flexible so that they manage their work according to their energy levels instead of just 9 to 5. Doesn't matter how they feel. Added side effect of this is going to make you feel good about yourself, because you actually respect yourself, you actually love yourself, you actually take care of your energy levels. That means you actually valuing your energy. Your energy is very expensive, you can't be expending it on random things, and something that brings you joy is something you should spend it on, instead of something that depletes you, and instead of something that is actually draining the life out of you. So now what happens is, when you're actually working towards your goals and targets, you're feeling good about yourself instead of feeling like shit. You don't feel depleted, you don't feel restrained, you don't feel drained, you don't feel like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore. Sometimes just because of this, just because of that monotony, and just because of that routine, and just because of that high stress job, people quit their real life dreams and goals because of XYZ reasons. Now they don't have the confidence, now they don't want to do it, they're too tired all the time, they don't want to focus on anything else, now they just want to go to sleep. But when you actually manage your energy levels, when you do things and you're in professions that allow you that time restraint, where you're like, I work for so and so hours and then I'm free, I can do what I want, it keeps you motivated, it keeps your mood uplifted, it keeps you very happy and content in the long run. That means you can actually work towards your goals and your ambitions and achieve them a lot faster. Now, again, is it advisable to bank rests for the weekends? Absolutely not. You're going to rest throughout the week. You're going to do normal stuff like a normal human being. If you're tired one day, you are going to go to sleep. You need 8 to 10 hours of sleep. I know people have associated rest with a very negative feeling, where they're like, oh, you know, rest is like, oh, trying to avoid problems. I'm resting because I don't want to be productive. No, absolutely not. You're resting. Resting is productive. Resting is very productive. Let me give you some real valuable insights as to what happens when you really rest, and that will deep rest, not guilt rest, where you're resting but you're still stressed out about, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. No, absolutely not. Don't do that to yourself. Even if you want to rest for half an hour, that half an hour needs to be guilt free. Like you're resting like it's nobody's business. You need to be in deep rest mode. But again, there are a lot of advantages of doing that. So when you do that, it resets your hormones, it resets your mood, it actually changes thought patterns in your brain. So now what you were probably stressed about or thinking, you've completely forgotten about that. Now you're in a different zone, you're relaxed. Happy hormones, serotonin, dopamine. What that does is, now again, when you go back to that task that gave you stress and anxiety in the first place, you'll be able to manage that task very effectively and much better than what you would have been able to do if you wouldn't have rest and if you were in that same stress cycle. Let me tell you where this even started. The great exhaustion. It started from the great pandemic that we had, 2019, 2020, 2021, where people started working remotely. So that meant digital overload. The boundaries were blurred because people were always available because you're working from home. So why can't you do this at 8 p.m.? Why can't you do this in the middle of the night? Why can't you send me that email? It's a 5 minute job. Absolutely not. That's where it started. It's still there, but also not there, because like 50-50 completely depends on the kind of role, and completely depends on the kind of person you are and how you manage it. But again, there are a lot of European countries where it's illegal for the company to contact you. For example, if you work from 9 to 5, it's illegal to contact you before 9 and after 5. Absolutely not. And it's illegal to work on the weekends, which is again because they value mental health, they value their people, they value health, they value human beings. I think we need to bring that system back into place. We need to adapt certain things from these countries so we don't burn ourselves out. Now, let's talk about the practical steps. Now, how are you going to actually instill energy based productivity instead of time managed productivity? What you're going to do is, you're going to swap out time for feelings. You're going to swap out tasks for feelings. For example, like when you say things like, oh, I'm going to work 10 hours today, I'm going to study for 10 hours today, instead of being so robotic about certain things, what you're going to say is, I am going to finish my day feeling energized, feeling happy, I'm feeling relaxed. That's how I plan on finishing my day. Now, however the day goes is completely up to the day and completely up to how I manage it according to my mood, my time, and every other availability in my area. But other than that, that's how I want to feel. That's how you're going to go about it. You're going to take your feelings into consideration. You're going to put your feelings first and be like, I want to feel good at the end of the day. I want to still feel energized at the end of the day. I still have other things to do at the end of the day. So I'm going to manage my tasks accordingly. Now how do you go about things if you feel a little burnout sometimes where you're like, okay, I can't avoid that task and I'm feeling a little burnt out? How do you bounce back from that? What you're going to do is you're going to numb your mind, like drop into your body, do something mind numbing. Either watch something, I would say actually don't watch anything, just do something mind numbing entirely away from screens, where that means you're reading a book, but just like mindlessly reading a book. Don't be on your phone, absolutely not. Go hang out somewhere. Just go talk to somebody where you don't have to use your brain that much. Like just drop into your body, just feel relaxed, just go to the gym or something, like work out, physically expend your energy, or go to sleep, listen to music, go to sleep. Do something for some time that'll actually numb your mind absolutely. Like you'll completely forget about everything and anything. That'll kind of reset your mind. And now, when you go back to that task that demands a lot of mental energy, mental load, you'll have that energy to give into that task. Having said that, we come to the end of this brilliant video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Till then, I'm going to see you guys in my next one. Take care and bye.